Welcome to the Turkey Lush Club class for November 2019. I will be walking you through how to make this cute turkey. So we're going to start by taking cotton candy, jack-o'-lantern orange, coral blush, and white, and working those in with a flat brush all around the top of the bird for the background. You'll want to do this transitioning from one color to the next while it's still wet so that you'll get a soft blend. You can add white if you want to lighten different areas. You can add more of one color if you like different colors, or you can completely change the colors. I am using warm tones here because I'm going to be using cooler colors in the turkey wings. And just keep playing with it till you like it. We are now going to switch to a small round brush, working on his eyes and face and beak. So what you will be doing is taking some of the raw umber and putting it in the upper part, kind of the round part of the eye. And then you'll be adding a little bit of Payne's Gray below that. That may have even been primary blue. And that is going to be in the little triangular part of the eye. Then we're going to model his face using primary blue, a little of one of our pinks, or some red with white, depending on what you decided to use in your background. Just use what you have, and then you'll also be kind of modeling in some white. And all that means is I'm barely kind of dabbing in those colors to vary the tones throughout, just to give his face that kind of mottled look. And you just keep working down the turkey's face until you get all of that area filled with different tones and you're happy with the way that it looks. Then for his beak, I'm going to work in a little yellow oxide with some white to fill in the beak. And then I'll use some straight up yellow oxide, maybe with a little brown mixed in, to outline the lines and darken the bottom beak. Then you can add a little bit more white in the upper beak to give it a little highlight. Then using a flat brush, you could still use your other brush if you'd like, but I used the flat brush, and I am adding red with some white, and that is going to work down his little turkey neck. And I try to connect it to the modeled face, so you may have to do a few little strokes up there as well. And then the lower part of the neck is going to be more red, and then also some of that deep burgundy to darken it up. And I just make little strokes so that it has a little bit of texture to it. I kind of want some of my brush strokes to show during this part. Just gives it a little bit more personality and texture and shows, you know, turkey off to his best. And you just keep playing with that until you're happy with the way it looks. You can also go back in and add some little highlights here and there. And then his, what I'm going to call his waggle, because I don't know turkey anatomy, is going to be red. And you want it to be a different tone than the neck, so you may need to make some adjustments so that it is a little brighter than what the neck color is. Then we're going to work down to his body. It's raw umber, a little yellow oxide, and some white. And we're going to be working our brush strokes deliberately, meaning we're going to put our brush down, swipe down, pick our brush up. Put our brush down, swipe down, pick our brush up. That's going to start to give it some texture and help it seem more like feathers. You can play with this as much as you want to, but I do keep these pretty vertical so that it looks like they are growing in a downward pattern as feathers would in this case. So even when we're doing something abstract, we want to have a little bit of reality worked in, just so that we can actually read this as a turkey at the end and not a strange alien. Now we're going to go back up to his face, going back to the small round brush, and we're going to add the red into his little patch on his head, which is the straight up red and then a little of the deep burgundy to give it some depth. We will also add a little bit of white to shine in the eyes. Just a couple little swipes in there. We'll also make a few little adjustments to the side of the face. I'm not sure if those are turkey ears, but probably. And so we'll add some red here and there. We may have to add some white. Depends if you can still see your pencil lines. You may have to make some adjustments to do that. Then we'll add a little bit more darkness to the bottom of the body if we need to before making the feathers. We'll be making the feathers using a combination of Bahama Blue and raw umber for the top feathers. And we're going to want to do this fairly quickly so things will blend and not separate. So you may want to do one side of the turkey at a time. Depends on how fast of a painter that you are. You'll see here in just a second that I probably should have done one at a time, just because I had a little problem with getting the citron green to blend in with the Bahama Blue and umber when I go and do the second layer of feathers on the right side. But to combat that, I just added a little bit of white and it helped to blend it. I may have even sprayed it down just very far away with a light mist to get that to blend a little bit better. But what we're wanting is a fairly smooth transition, but we are also wanting to keep those layers a little separated as well, so that you can see the different tones in the different areas. We then add the primary blue for the bottom, and it overlaps over all the other things that we have done. Just make sure that you're working wet on wet for a softer blend. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, just send them to me and I will get them answered. I appreciate it, and thank you for being a member of Lush Club 2019.